prey handling behavior of octopus flaggers on viable preys. So, who is octopus flaggers? It is a common species we can see in our daily life, like this guy. Okay, this guy. He is octopus the pope who used to be used and who used to predict the World Cup in 2010 of the football. And they usually use their eyes to recognize the prey and try to attack. And according to the prey's movement and their characteristics, they will know whether they should attack or not. And their main food are clams like molluscans and crustaceans and this one is crab. So, and we also found that they will drill a hole on molluscan and crustacean, the hole here. And we will wonder to know how they drill the hole. Okay, it will be at the last of the slides. So let's talk about how to know what the octopus is doing. We can see there's our AETA. This is the abbreviation of the behavior elements. And these elements were from previous papers. And from these elements, we classify into several behaviors like attack, pulling, and ingestion. For example, when you're going to peel an pineapple, you try to use your knife to cut the pineapple, and later you cut the head of the pineapple. And next, you use your fork to stick the pineapple and put it into your mouth. So you cut the pineapple and peel it. This will classify into peeling. And when you kick the pineapple into your mouth, this will classify into eating, like ingestion. This is the example. And like this. Yeah. So why did we do this study? Most of the descriptions are about octopus preying on crustaceans, like they preying on crabs. So we want to know and provide a general description when octopus flaggers prey on bivalves. So what we want to know, whether the type, prey type, or the size affect handling behavior in octopus flaggers. So we divide them into two groups, size and species, and later we measure the latency of attack and the handling time. And after we know the time, whether there are differences, we try to know their behavior sequence. And last, we do our statistic analysis. So what is the definition of latency of attack and handling time? Latency of attack is from the prey land till the octopus start to move. And the handling time means that when the prey was touched till the octopus start to ingest. So these are our specimens. There are two groups. SD groups means different species, and SD groups means different size. For different species, we have three species: Callista, Pecten, and Pina. And for SD group, different size, we have Callista for specimens. And their size or length were from 40 to 65 millimeter, and their shell areas were from 700 to 1,500 square millimeters. So let's talk about their behavior. So first, the animal will be at the home position, and the bivalve start to land into the tank. And next, the octopus try to attack, and getting the bivalve under the mouth region. And next, they will carry the prey home and sitting on it. try to arrange it. But why will they try to arrange it? Because they want to have an easier way for them to ingest the Bible. This is the real picture from the paper. It is very not clear, so I use the animation here. So the predator behavior, whether the shells are open. If yes, they will try to insert their arms and mouths to have their lunch or dinner. And later, if the shells were not open, they will try to drill a hole, and after that, they will try to pull the plants apart and start to have their meal. And this is the picture from the paper. So let's see our results. That the predatory performance from SP and SD groups. The first is our latitude of attack. We can see the x-axis was the different groups, and the y-axis is the time, seconds. So we can see this is 24.1 seconds, and this is 23.6 seconds. And it shows no significant difference in different species and different size of the Bible. And the next is the handling time of SP group. This different color means the different species of the Bibles. And these are the different methods. And these still our time. And this, we can see the cooling time of the Callista is 67.5 seconds. And why these two are 0? Because they are all drilled by the octopus. So their statistic was here. And it shows significant difference from different Bible species. And we also found that when their hole was occurred, they often drill on the abductor muscle here. And the next is our SD group and handling time. And we can see the XYX is still method, and this is our time. And we can see there's a significant difference between handling method. This is 61.7 seconds, and this is almost 1 or 2 hours. And handling time related to the shells area. So when the holes were made, we can find that 35% were made on popular cavity, like here. And next is our abductor muscle. So the occurrence of drilling is significant to the ratio between Callista and octopus weights. So now we know the handling time is mainly affected by only pulling or by drilling and pulling. This means the two weights. And we want to know whether there are changes for the different prey handling behavior. So this means this was the behavior elements that was mentioned earlier, like this AACA, like what I say for the pineapple. You cut the pineapple, you peel the pineapple. This will be peeling. And so for this one, this is for attack, and this one is for cooling. And these are their general behavior. And how do they do this cluster analysis is focus on their different behavior of their similarities and their frequencies. Like this is square, standard square error standard. And the next one is the behavior sequence of SD groups and SP groups. And it's the method of the opening and drilling opening by drilling and pulling. And we can see this is attack and this is pulling. It's a little similar to the next one. And the result is that the behavior sequence have no significant difference between different bivalve species. So because this analysis is only focused on different behavior, it doesn't include different times. So there shows the pulling is not significant different from drilling and pulling. But what we know is that the time of pulling and drilling are different. So our final result is that the prey handling behavior significantly changes with different size prey by all prey species. And thank you.